The number one cause of workplace fatality in construction has been fall-related deaths for a long time, and it needs to improve. And so I'm a worker advocate, and I try to share that emphasis with our students and also the people in the stand down.
A lot of time people think that the falls are the significant falls from a height, from a rooftop or a window. A lot of our falls are actually from low heights, 5, 10 feet, stumbling off a step. We see a tremendous amount of injuries that could be averted just by paying attention to the surroundings or having a guardrail even at a lower height than you might think you need.
Well, I was working on a 5-foot platform myself a few years ago and was pulling on a piece of timber that suddenly let go, and I went flying off of the back of the 5-foot platform and basically injured myself for about 60 days, and that was not fun. I also have experienced one of my roofing contractors years ago actually slid off of a roof. He was up there doing one last little thing, and he slid off of a roof and fell 20 feet. And thankfully he wasn't killed, but it messed him up for about 6 months. So safety is close. It's a close topic for me. Something not to be ignored.
When a fatality occurs on a work site, the impact affects people at every level, and both within the company and even outside the company, neighbors and friends. The ripple effect is huge. And when somebody, we look at maybe statistics of how many falls occur on this type of construction site or that type of equipment. And it's really so much more than a number. And when people say, oh, I knew that guy. Oh, what happened? And it's a horrendously important wake-up call. Certainly the employer has to deal with every aspect of the situation. The co-workers, there's sometimes, some guilt or some confusion. I mean, confusion's an understatement. It's a horrible experience. I've never personally gone through it, but as a safety professional, when I'm talking to people who have been involved in the workplace or in the activity that was going on, and it's hard to realize that this is a person who yesterday was just doing his job. That's why I'm passionate about my profession, because to me, it's inexcusable that it's still kind of an underling of a topic until some tremendous event occurs, and then we start paying attention. And that's had a lot of conversations with colleagues and coworkers about being proactive versus reactive. And people think, well, it's going to happen to someone else, that won't happen to me. And then bang, it's a horrible wake-up call to have to go through. And the companies who are more proactive may not see direct effects right away, but they just know it's the right thing to do, and then it does pay off. And workers are happier, the company's in better shape. The goal is to get people to go home safely every day.
Fall claims can take a long time to recover from. We actually have 2 claims that are over 30 years old. Both of those claims are going to cost about $4 million in total expense. These are lifetime injuries that workers don't ever fully recover from, and the families also are impacted by having to care for these injured workers for the rest of their lives.
I would encourage anyone who hasn't participated in a stand down to seek one out in their area and participate by bringing themselves and some of their key people to learn for themselves some of the principles that are shared, the testimonials, the technology, the methods that can be used. The great advantage to them is that they can take that and raise the awareness level in their organizations to be able to identify those potential hazards by better being able to survey those hazards, and then to be able to come up with a plan and procedures and policies and the training necessary so that they can forecast those things up front and make sure they eliminate those potentials. It's going to save them a lot of money and time and great benefit to their company. They'll be way more profitable, and those that have done this have found that to be true. Any accident or injury is going to take so much time and effort to spend your resources on, it'll take you away from making the money and being successful in your operation as a contractor. So the great benefit is you learn the tools and the skills and the resources that are provided at a stand down, and from experienced others who have done this, to be able to apply those principles yourself. A lot of benefits come to the contractor by attending for those reasons.